Ladies and gentlemen, this is the big one. We finally have some clarification on the big Toyotaro Dragon Ball Super manga story that has people going crazy. This story just goes left and right, up and down. There's so many twists and turns to the story. We'll be talking about that, as well as Gekeshin Squadra's release, known bugs, and some pretty cool things that I think a lot of other Dragon Ball games could learn from. Alright, first let's read this tweet from DBS Hype where he says, after clarification with Japan Expo, it turns out that Toyotaro is not working on any new manga. The site phrased the panel description badly. Toyotaro is set to talk about Dragon Ball Super manga with Torishima on July 6th. And then to go ahead and read what they were quoting from Red Ribbon DBZ. Red Ribbon DBZ speaking in, I believe, Spanish, just going off what it says here on Google, they said, I was finally able to speak with Japan Expo organization. I'm told the conversation between Toyotaro and Torishima will focus on his current work on Dragon Ball Super and his experiences as a mangaka rather than a new original project of his. So, in case you're confused, I have made 2 videos previously about this very topic, going over this whirlwind of a story. Basically, initially we got confirmation that Toyotaro was going to speak with Torishima on a panel at Japan Expo on July 6th. Then, we got an update saying that it would not be Dragon Ball Super they would be discussing, but Toyotaro's new original manga project. These were things translated from Von DBZ on Twitter, and Von DBZ went ahead and responded to Red Ribbon DBZ. Von DBZ says, so the event description is just wrong? It's not a translation error at all. This is the French. And then they went ahead and posted the original French, which was, of course, translated previously where they said that Toyotaro will be talking about his own original manga project. So this is the information officially on the website that Von DBZ is referencing. So again, Von DBZ is not wrong. It's just the people that run this event published the wrong information on the website. Because as Red Ribbon DBZ says, the panel will be focusing on Dragon Ball Super, and the people that ran the website just put bad information on there. Or it could be just a thing that they are owning the website and they're running it and they're not exactly sure how to describe Dragon Ball Super at this point. So they're basically trying to sell it to get more eyes on the event, and basically they're saying this is going to be a Toyotaro manga because technically it would be now that Toriyama's out of the picture due to his passing. So it just becomes this weird game of semantics, and nobody's really quite sure what's going on. But now Red Ribbon DBZ has confirmation from the event people themselves saying that they will be discussing Dragon Ball Super. So, does this mean Dragon Ball Super could finally be returning and they're going to talk about it in July? Who knows? I feel like it's worth mentioning that Victory Carnival is also going to be in July, and Toyotaro will be at that event as well. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that we could have a Dragon Ball Super announcement sometime soon. Now, Toyotaro being busy in July with official events does not mean anything crazy, but it is worth mentioning that maybe the Dragon Ball Super panel with Toyotaro and Torishima could just be about discussing the legacy of Toriyama and what Toyotaro can do going forward, and we may not get an official announcement from Toyotaro that Dragon Ball Super is returning, but we could get some teasing. I'm expecting some teasing. I'm expecting Toyotaro to maybe touch on things like Black Frieza, things he's excited to tackle in the future, even if we don't officially get a return for Dragon Ball Super or an announcement of the return. I'm hoping we get something spicy, because if you guys are not aware, Torishima has also previously criticized Toyotaro's work and says it lacks a certain element that Toriyama had. I'll go ahead and slap the quote up on screen here just so you can get the exact verbiage. So it's going to be interesting to see what they talk about, if Torishima's attitude has changed toward Toyotaro, or if Toyotaro will take more information from Torishima and take it seriously. In case you're not aware, Torishima was the original editor of Dragon Ball. He originally worked with Toriyama, so they were very tight, very close. Of course, Toyotaro was Toriyama's student on the Dragon Ball saga. So you got 2 people that were very close with Toriyama talking about Dragon Ball Super. It should be a very good conversation. Guys, I will definitely be covering this. I don't expect the panel to be uploaded onto YouTube, and if it is, maybe it'll be translated, maybe not. But I will be covering what they talk about. I'm expecting people to post bullet points and things like that. So I don't know if this is the time to get hype just yet. I don't think that they're going to announce the return of Dragon Ball Super at Japan Expo. They would probably save it for an official event for Jump, like the Jump Victory Carnival event. But with that being said, knowing Toyotaro and knowing how he has previously said things like look forward to more, things like that, maybe we could get some teasing, even if it's not official confirmation. Who knows? We'll just wait and see on that. Next, let's talk about the Dragon Ball Gekeshin Squadra testing phase, which is the network test. Very interesting stuff going on. So we'll talk about the things that I think are universal W's and then a few problems. But first of all, I just want to say the game is absolutely gorgeous. One of the best looking Dragon Ball games in modern history. The models are great, the animations are great, it's got a lot of charm, the characters are very well animated. It's just such a fun game. And Dragon Ball Gekeshin Squadra is doing something very interesting. So if you go on their official Twitter, they have announced that they're going to be doing a creators program, which is the first Dragon Ball video game to do so. So it says here they will launch with the official release of the game, join the network testing starting tomorrow to prepare for the application period, which of course this was obviously yesterday, so now it's today and things like that. But anyway, so you know, it has examples for criteria. So you have to be active on YouTube, consistently stream Squadra, able to comply with their terms of service, etc., etc. And then you get some benefits for being part of this creator program. So you can get an exclusive Discord channel for only Squadra creators. You get access to an asset pack with logos, illustrations of characters, etc. Early access to the latest news, chances to try out new content early, and participate in Q&A sessions with the team. So for you young content creators, I do understand how this could be tempting for you, but let me warn you a little bit about some potential drawbacks. So where it says to comply with their terms of service, guidelines, and other related policies, this means that if things leaked out about the game, I'm pretty sure you would not be able to cover it on your channel, because that seems like something that they would definitely not support. That's why I'm not applying for this, because I love to talk about leaks and things like that, and I don't think that would be cool. So if you're cool with not talking about leaks, that's fine. And then it also says access to an asset pack. A lot of those assets that they're going to give you are probably already going to be available just online in general, so that's not necessarily awesome, but they at least give you access to news early, so that will be a good perk for you guys. So just go ahead and weigh your options. Is it worth giving up some things that you might want to do on your own if you weren't already in this program? Just think about things like that. But I do think it's cool that they are doing something like this, which is something that Dragon Ball really doesn't do. Not a lot of games do it either. Another thing I wanted to talk about that I think is an easy universal W is the awesome new skins that they have in the game. So you can buy these with EX tokens, and they all look pretty cool, especially whenever you get them in the game and they're animated and stuff. It's kind of reminding me of like a lot of skins like in Fortnite, for example, and they have that like Galaxy skin where it's like kind of like Chowder. If you guys ever seen Chowder, it's just like the elements on the skin is moving, kind of. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. But it's pretty cool skins, pretty simple at face value. But considering these are just like extra skins, it's pretty fun because they do still have the regular skins. Like Gohan can have his regular outfit from the Saiyan Saga, and then he can switch to his Namek Saga outfit, things like that. So it is cool that they have some skins like this that Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is lacking. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero in the skins department is kind of lacking just a bit, especially since Squadra will get consistent updates. So I'm assuming they'll be adding skins consistently. That's all pretty cool. Now let's talk about some problems with Gekeshin Squadra other than everything I talked about, which was great. There are some problems, which is of course to be expected because it's a network test. So for example, the servers, as you would expect, are not quite great. That's the point of this network test, so we'll go ahead and give them a pass on that. But it appears that if you're on Switch, they just didn't have the thing ready, I guess. So I'll just go ahead and read what they said on Twitter. They said, unfortunately, preparations for the network test for Nintendo Switch in North, Central, and South America are taking longer than expected. We apologize for the delay and are working on a solution so the test can be held. So strangely enough, I guess they just didn't have it ready, which if they didn't have it ready, why would they announce this and already have it running? Like, I guess maybe for the way they framed this, it was out of their control and they weren't expecting it, but hopefully they take this as information for the future and a lesson, and hopefully next time they do something like this, it doesn't have a weird problem like this. I don't know if you can blame this on Nintendo, maybe? Who knows? Another thing we wanted to talk about today was the PlayStation 4 issues. Apparently they just went ahead and shut the PlayStation 4 version down for now, because there's an issue where, and I go ahead and read it here, PlayStation 4 players are sent to the PlayStation Plus purchase screen when trying to matchmake. That's a pretty bad bug. That's like, oh, you want to play the game? Well, you got to buy some stuff. So obviously that's not intended, and they have shut it down just temporarily. So no worries, guys. It will be back. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the rejoin function. It's not working properly. If a player encounters this issue, you have to wait 20 minutes or until the original match ends to log in again. So just a few bugs that the official account was making you aware of. There's also a myriad of small things that people have encountered that, you know, they're not necessarily reporting on, and I'm pretty sure that will be resolved, so I don't even need to waste time talking about that because this is, like I said, a network test. It will all be resolved. But if you were excited to play this game on the first day, just keep in mind you may encounter some issues. Don't freak out. It's all good in this hood. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's just a network test. Nothing to freak out about. Anyways, guys, that will be it for this video. What do you think? Do you think Toyotaro will talk about Dragon Ball Super returning for the Japan Expo? I don't think so, but, you know, stranger things have happened. I'm hoping so. That would be cool, but don't get your hopes up. And I will be playing some Gekeshin Squadra, not officially on the channel or anything like that because I'm more of a news person, but I do think that this will be a fun game. I'm definitely going to be supporting it. I'm definitely going to keep playing it. Anyways, guys, that will be it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to keep up to date with all things Dragon Ball news and commentary. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace off.